And the two most intriguing team stories in front of us tonight: the Los Angeles Lakers and the Dallas Mavericks. Let's now go to the Lakers PA announcer Lawrence Tanner.
So many new faces with your teammates this year. How would you describe the way you guys played tonight?
We didn't start out real well, but you know what? It's just that we got not a lot of new faces, and it's gonna take us a while for us to gel. But you saw over a 48-minute game, we just kept.
6'8", fifth year from Augsburg College, Devin George. The other forward is number 11, 6'9", 19th season from Louisiana Tech, Karl Malone. At one guard, number 20, 6'4", 14th year from Oregon State, Gary Payton. The other guard is number 2, 6'1", 8th season from Arkansas Little Rock, Derek Fisher. And at center, number 34, 7'1", 12th season from LSU, Shaquille O'Neal. The head coach is Phil Jackson. The assistant coaches are Jim Clemens, Frank Hamblin, Tex Winter, and Kurt Rambis. The athletic trainer, Gary Beatty.
And tonight's lineups brought to you by McDonald's. It'll be Steve Nash and Michael Finley in the backcourt with newly acquired Antoine Walker, newly acquired Danny Fortson, and Dirk Nowitzki on the front line. And for the Los Angeles Lakers, they will start without Kobe Bryant in the lineup. They'll go with Derek Fisher and Gary Payton, and Devin George, Shaquille O'Neal, and Karl Malone. And with Doug Collins, this is Kevin Harlan. A lot on the table in front of us. Let's address the Kobe situation right now. They had a meeting today. He was fined. He is not going to play tonight. He may play in Phoenix on Saturday.
Well, obviously, this is a big blow for the Lakers for Kobe not to start this season. I think a lot of healing went on today, but it's going to take time, Kevin. When you get personal with some things that you say, one meeting's not going to get it done. But I expect this team to work itself through things. Yes, it sure did. When you look at the numbers, and we'll probably show you some of these later, it cost him big time.
Nash around the horn, outside, Michael Finley for three. They're the number 3 three-point shooting team a season ago. Batted around, picked up by Fortson, and out of bounds he stepped. And the Lakers will get it with 5:51 to play in the first.
Great hustle by both Shaq and Danny Fortson. Danny Fortson just came down with his foot on the outside of the line, but good hustle on both the players' parts.
Mavericks have turned it over twice. Derek Fisher banking it in. A starter in the past and now coming off the bench, although starting tonight because Kobe's not playing.
And also, too, he really matches up well with Steve Nash. He can get up and body him and get his strength into him. You really have to be able to try to negate Steve Nash's quickness by being able to get up to him and get your body on him and try to muscle him a little bit, try to wear him down. And Fisher does that as well as any guard in the NBA.
So the Lakers have had all 5 starters score so far. Nash playing with a couple fouls early. With Walker on top, they're point forward, they're calling him in Dallas.
A little bit like Paul Pressey was, Chris Mullin, 2 players that Nelly had in the past.
At Milwaukee and Golden State respectively. Payton dishing off to George. Gary Payton doesn't look like he's 35, and he's certainly not playing like it.
Again, selective, fast breaking.
Nash. Nowitzki drew the defense toward him. Another missed 3. And the Mavericks 0 of 5 shooting the 3 ball. Payton on the fly, and a pickup inside by Finley, and knocked away by the Lakers' Devin George. And a foul on George. And that is the second on George.
With the addition of Gary Payton and Karl Malone, they're going to be a better running team. If you see Malone out running on the break, he actually sets this play up for Devin George just by running. You see him coming into the screen late there. But if you get 3 guys out running on the floor and you got 2 back, you're going to have numbers And the Lakers have done that about 3 times. So they pick and choose their spots and been very, very good with that here early in the game, Kevin.
Brian Russell, the ex-Washington Wizard player that you had last year there, and a 9-year veteran with the Utah Jazz. He's played in a ton of playoff games. He's come in with Devin George, who just picked up his second. Here's Nash playing for 2. Down the baseline, outside Finley, and his heel stepped out of bounds.
Well, they're really out of sync. You know, when we talked to Don Nelson before the game, you never really know with Nelly whether or not how his team is playing. You know, he always sort of looks at, you know, we're not very good or whatever, but right now they're really struggling.
They had a horrible preseason.
Yes, they did.
And it's going to take some time for them to mesh. Like we said, Lakers are going through the same basic thing, although they look more on the same page than Dallas does right now.
I would agree with that.
Down low, they're working on Finley with Payton. And outside, this is a surprise 3 from Russell.
That's the shot he has to make. That's the shot he made for Utah. He's a good defensive player. He's a guy who plays very well off the basketball, and he just has to get to the open area and trust his shot. The last couple of years, he's lost a lot of confidence in his shooting, and he has been a decent three-point shooter throughout his career.
Yeah, about 36%, although 33% last year in Washington. But if he can offer that, and it's the players like the Russells and the Luke Waltons and the Kareem Rushes and the Derek Fishers for this Laker team, which may indeed see their success hinge on their play.
Well, you know, you have to have guys who can play off your star players. And you think about it, you got Peyton, you got Malone, you got Kobe when he's back, and Shaq. Those are your stars. So whoever that 5th guy is out there has to be ready to deliver when the shots come. And when the Lakers do that, they're going to be very difficult to beat.
There's Dirk Nowitzki, who himself is trying to be in that elite category. He's close.
Oh, he's a terrific player. You know, I think people forget, too, he averages almost 10 rebounds a game. You know, Dallas here trying to show a little bit of a combination zone, trying to keep Shaq away from the basket, but the Lakers are being very, very selective and doing a good job of finding the open man.
Dallas has not made a substitution. George with a couple fouls on the bench, and Russell is in, and that is Derek Fisher, who's coming off a career year. He's got 4 points now for Los Angeles.
You know, he got off to a slow start last year and then really finished strong. Shot over 40% from the three-point line.
Nash in a lot of traffic. Fortson, Shaq draws the foul as Fortson tried to get in there. That's the first on Shaq.
The game looks like he's going to give Antoine Walker a rest.
Fortson, a poor free throw shooter, 65% a season ago, and so with Walker taking a breather, Jamison comes in, one of the great scorers in the NBA in 2 of the last 3 years, the top 15, so he definitely can put it in, as he's done the last handful of years at Golden State.
Playing for his 6th coach in 6 seasons. He needs to get into a situation where he can get a little stability because he's a very talented player, got a quick release. Reminds me a lot of Bernard King, who used to play for the Knicks, with a quick release around the basket.
Karl Malone. Lakers are shooting just below 50% from the field, and here come the Mavericks. They're at 18%, 2 of 11 from the floor, and a foul on Nowitzki. And Dirk Nowitzki picks up his second. Nash is playing with 2, and those are 2 of the 3 very important players for Don Nelson's Dallas Mavericks.
Brian Russell just sort of steps in and gets in front of Dirk Nowitzki. That's one of those fouls, as a coach, you hate to see one of your star players commit.
Here comes Shaq, and he's got 4 points and 4 rebounds to start things off. Through the double, thus Fisher maneuvers on Nash. And the Lakers are +3 in rebounding so far in this game. Dallas, their big 3 we just talked about, 1 of 8. Here's one of them, Nowitzki, who nails it.
That's really the best early offense they've had all game long. They finally got some dribble penetration and found Nowitzki for the easy shot, but that's when Dallas is playing at their best. They've got to get early offense.
Lakers have led by as many as 13, and the Dallas Mavericks have not led. Nice move by Gary Payton, who pulled a Houdini inside.
Oh, he loves that baseline. How often do we see him down there with Seattle?
Spinning on a dime, Nash. That's a turnover, and 5 now for the Mavericks. No turnovers for the Lakers. Fisher, Nash came, and Fisher realigns and finds an open. Russell for 3. It's Finley with the rebound. Antoine Jamison. Dirk Nowitzki, and no one's on.
That's because he shoved the guy in the back. They called a little touch foul on him. They wouldn't call that one.
Hold on, as Peyton feeds Shaquille O'Neal.
Now, didn't I say before the game the Lakers were going to slow it down, pound it inside, and the Mavericks were going to run? Well, it's the Lakers who are running. The Mavericks are not getting back on defense, and the Lakers are running at them on every occasion.
The bench for the Dallas Mavericks, who have scored on only 4 of their first 20 trips, and a three-point shot keyed by Fisher, picked up by Fortson. Any numbers catch your eye here late in the first quarter?
Well, a couple things. First of all, no fast break points for the Mavericks. I guess I'll give them 2 there, but 10 points to 2 in the paint for the Lakers. 5 turnovers for the Mavericks, and why that's critical, they've been averaging 20 a game in the preseason. Kevin, this is for a team that averaged a little over 11 a game all last year and led the league in fewest turnovers for 2 seasons in a row.
It's a 2-point shot. Finley fouls Russell, who puts it up and in. And now Finley has come off the bench for 5. He'll be at the stripe as Finley pleads his case with Phil Robinson across the way.
When that ball goes inside and you have to double back, now you have to close out on shooters. Now Brian Russell has stepped up. He's hit 2 jump shots, has an opportunity here to finish it off with a free throw. So I would say Brian Russell has gotten off to a nice start here with his new team.
And he fits in just perfectly. He's played 96 playoff games, so he brings a lot of experience and some defense.
Well, he played a long time with Karl Malone and John Stockton there in Utah. Had his heart broken twice by Michael Jordan in the NBA Finals.
Fortson is out. Antoine Walker is checked in. Finley will take a seat. Steve Nash will come back in. So it's an odd combination in the backcourt of Travis Best and Steve Nash, something they really didn't want to get into. Well, they wanted to play those guys separately.
Well, what Don Nelson is going to do now, he's going to try to scramble the game. He said, we're struggling, we're down 15. And basically what he's going to do is said, we're going to go to a small lineup. And what Phil has done is he's taken this time to rest Shaq so we can match up a little bit better with Horace and Karl Malone out there. Right now, Dallas is going to try to scramble his floor.
So Horace Grant in for the first time. Jamison with a good feed from Antoine Walker.
See, no Shaq, no shot blocking. So if you're Dallas, go right to the basket. You've got to get to that free throw line. You're the best free throw shooting team in the league.
So Best is on Fisher. Nice drop pass. Malone inside. Picked up nicely by Gary Payton. By the way, Malone and Payton played every game in the preseason. They've been there since the opening bell, whereas Shaq has been injured and Kobe has been shuttling back and forth between here and Colorado. Hackaway inside by Horace Grant. And yeah, we're all surprised that's a foul on Grant. That's the first on him.
Well, Horace missed 6 days of preseason when he had a concussion. But again, what I'd like to bring up here is Robert Horry used to really cause problems for Dirk Nowitzki. At 6'11", he could get out and play him. And I think what you're seeing now is Dirk is going to really try to get himself going here. He's hit a jump shot off the break. He's getting to the free throw line. Watch him to make a spurt here as the Lakers have gone to their bench.
Seems to me maybe the weakest part of Nowitzki's game. He has very few, but obviously defense, which we talked about, but also passing, which for a guy his size could really be crucial.
Well, that's why they got Antoine Walker. They wanted to free up Steve Nash a little bit, and Dirk is not a great passer right now. He's more of a scorer, but that will continue to come with his game.
Across the lane is Karl Malone. No fouls to give either way for the final 22 seconds of the first quarter. Nash 3-on-1, buckle up for Nowitzki with a great feed from Steve Nash.
Nice little finish here by the Mavericks, starting to get a little bit more activity. They looked like they were sluggish to start this game, Kevin. Not that normal bounce, but Antoine Jamison sort of picked up their energy as he's come in.
So the Dallas Mavericks have come back. Nowitzki has scored 11 of their 15 points. Fisher, with the game clock at 4.5 seconds, launches and is fouled. And they had Travis Best right there. Best, a guy that's jumped around the league, picks up number 1.
It's a matchup of the NBA Finals a few years ago with Travis Best and Derek Fisher when Travis was in Indiana. These are 2 tough guys. Both of them left-handed, strong.
Draft choice out of Arizona as the buzzer sounds. Best off the glass, and that will take us to the end of the first. A nice defense by Russell. Russell's come in and made a nice dent in this game for the Lakers.
Well, he's a very good defensive player. Fisher spots up for 3, so Dallas is not taking advantage of their opportunity here.
Lakers have led by 16, rejected by Grant as Nowitzki trying to go inside. Here comes Devin George, and Pargo uncovered. 7th rebound by Nowitzki. Walker, his second three-point shot, and that is right there.
When you play Antoine Walker, you've got to get your feet above the three-point line defensively, and you have to meet him early. He loves to walk into that three in transition.
Here comes Pardo. Mismatch on Jamison, and that is thrown away. The Lakers committing their first 3 turnovers in the opening moments of the second quarter. He's known for the three, and he doesn't hesitate to shoot it.
He loves it in transition. You fall asleep a little bit, the big man drops back, and he will bury it. That's his best shot on the break.
The coach, Doug Collins, Kevin Harlan, timeout, 8.5 to play here in the second quarter, and a long-range shot by Travis Best, retrieved by Antoine Jamison. Out to Walker. Shaq is back in the game. We'll set the lineups in a second as Walker plows inside, and Jamison cleans it up and gets his second inside shot.
Well, interesting matchup now. Shaq is guarding Antoine Walker, so when he drives him to the basket, nobody's on the boards. That time Antoine Jamison with a second shot. Now we have to watch at this end.
Shaq's got 6 points and 4 rebounds. There's an 8th rebound for Nowitzki. The Lakers are shooting 42%. The Mavericks shooting 33%. A wide open three for Antoine Jamison.
When you can score, you're always in the game. I mean, that's what happens with the Mavericks. They were out of it. They just couldn't get anything going. All of a sudden, bang, bang, and now they're only down 6.
A 14-4 Dallas run. A grand screen for Devin George. And Nowitzki is all over the glass tonight.
And you see now Shaq has to play Walker. He's going to pull him away from the basket, penetrate, and he can create shots now for Nowitzki. This is what they want to do, stretch it out.
Nowitzki missing the 3. Both teams have hit 2 3-point shots so far. And Devin George playing with the bad ankle tonight finds Shaq playing with the bad heel tonight. George for 2. Not much defense by Jamison. Lakers have led by as many as 16 points in the game. George on Jamison across the lane. Gary Payton back in, and a foul. And Payton was lunging in, and Gary Payton picks up the foul. That's number 1 on him.
Well, Gary Payton very unhappy with himself. Knows you don't want to foul a guy who's taking an off-balance shot. Really had no chance to make that shot. So Gary very upset with himself as Jamison will go to the free throw line. But you know, Kevin, I think that Antoine Jamison and Travis Best and Tony Delk have done a nice job when they've come in. They've sort of changed the pace of the game for Dallas when they got off to the sluggish start. So I think you're going to see that all year long. I think Nelly feels like he can go to his bench and get some real production.
Yeah, I wonder if it's possible to have an offense so good that Don Nelson has put together that it doesn't matter what kind of defense you play.
Well, you know what? I think they're an underrated defensive team. When you look at their numbers last year, they were plus 7.8 point differential, which is 1 in the league. Their opponent shot under 44%. The problem is they don't have any power player inside. And the question is, can they win without the big power center when you're looking at Duncan and Shaq in the Western Conference?
Kareem Rush is in the game for the first time. Shaq drawing the double. The shot clock is down to 4. And over Walker with very little resistance.
Shaq threw a knuckleball up there. I don't know how that thing went in.
So Shaq has 8 and Fisher has 8. Those are the Laker high scores. 12 for Nowitzki, leads all scores in the game. And it's Jamison across the lane again. And a rebound is fought for as Walker pushes Payton. And that is an Antoine Walker foul. And he will be tagged with his second of the game.
Now, Devin George is doing a good job against Antoine Jamison. He's forcing him to take some pretty tough shots. And on the loose ball, you'll watch Antoine Walker push off there with his off arm.
So they got Payton along with Rush and George, and up front Grant and Shannon. That's the Laker 5. Kareem Rush out of Missouri, guarded by Tony Delk, an underrated defender. Shot clock at 5. Rebound by Shaquille O'Neal. That will tie up our rebounding, and then Nowitzki puts the Mavericks up by 1 in the rebounding category so far. The dive inside by Dirk Nowitzki in a foul.
You're just seeing some of the matchup problems here, what they could do offensively. Now that time it's Nowitzki coming down the floor. Shaq is so worried that he's on Antoine Walker, he doesn't help on defense, and Nowitzki once again gets to the free throw line. So the spacing, Dallas, I thought they used more zone and more effective zone than any team in the league last year to cover up their weaknesses.
It's Rush with a nice shimmy move inside with the deceptive fake, and he puts the Lakers up by 10. Lakers have led by as many as 16.
Well, former Laker coach Del Harris has put all these zones in. He will not be happy with that kind of dribble penetration.
Steve Nash hits his first shot tonight, and those are the first points coming from the Dallas backcourt. Delk on Rush. Nowitzki on Grant. Walker on George. Shaq flips it outside. Rush with Nash on him. Nice pass inside to Horace Grant.
Dallas a little slow in their rotations. They doubled back, and on the kick out, they did not get to Horace Grant. You can't give Horace those easy layups. You got to make it more harder than that.
Nowitzki with 3 on his mind. Here comes Payton, who saved it. Again, Payton, Shaq, Grant, Rush, and George, the Laker 5. Dallas is 2 of 10 and shooting threes, and here's a whistle away from the ball, down low. It's an offensive foul on Shaquille O'Neal, who is tagged with his second of the game.
Well, you see the double team, and Horace does what you're supposed to do, put your head right underneath the basket and just call for the basketball. And Kareem Rush made a nice pass that time. He hit a nice little drive the first time he had the ball, that time with a nice pass. So good minutes from Horace Grant while he was in the game.
Malone takes his place, and Fisher replaces Rush. Here comes Nash, nice pump fake, and the feed finished off by Antoine Jamison.
See, that's a problem. Now Shaq is playing Walker. He does not want to help defensively, so Nash gets right into the lane. They're going to have to really decide what they want to do on that screen roll.
Dallas with Walker, Jamison, Delk, Nowitzki, and Nash. That's the Dallas 5. Here's Karl Malone wearing number 11 for the Los Angeles Lakers with the drive inside. Got the feed and drew the foul out of the defense of Dallas. He was offered number 32. In fact, Magic Johnson said, hey, I'll unretire my number so you can wear the number that you wore in Utah for all those years. And Karl said, no, I'm going to go back with the 92 Olympic number I wore, number 11. And that's why he's got it. Foul is called on Delk, and he is hit with his first. Laker lead was at 16, and Dallas has fought back. And the Lakers from the line are now 5 of 8. NBA Premier Week continues on TNT Thursday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Watch Carmelo Anthony and the Nuggets take on the Rockets, and LeBron James and the Cavs will be in Phoenix against the Suns. TNT NBA Thursday. Let the truth be told.
Kevin, I'll have a home game Thursday night in Phoenix. They got their hearts broken tonight. They played so well against San Antonio. I think San Antonio led for 43 seconds in that game. Anthony Carter with his only field goal to the game with a follow-up to beat them.
Nash high over Shaq, and a rebound by Devin George. Lakers are +1 in rebounding. Fisher open, Gary Payton for 3. O'Neal can't find the handle, out of bounds, and they say off of Dallas. You can still see Lakers are trying to get everyone on the same page, and you know that each chapter is going to be just fascinating. Very must reading, huh?
Well, if the last couple days are any indication, yes. It'll be a wild ride. Gary
Payton. Nowitzki with yet another rebound, his game-leading 11th. He's got the 14 points, and that is a game high as well. Nash and Delk left open to fire, and the former Southeastern Conference Player of the Year can't hit, but Nowitzki cleans it up. And a first 24 for Dallas. Delk open again, left free to fire, and again he misses.
He has really struggled in preseason. He had a sprained calf muscle, has only played a few minutes, has no field goals the entire preseason. They need him. They need him to make shots.
Devin George for 3, and the Lakers have now hit 3 three-point shots. The Mavericks have hit 2.
This is critical time for the Mavericks. They fought back. They don't want the Lakers to push away from here to get into halftime. You want to keep this under single digits if you can, Kevin.
Steve Nash now with 4. Lakers are shooting 44% from the field, and Shaq across the lane and over the defense, if that's what you want to call it, of Antoine Jamison.
Now, points in the paint. If you're going to let him catch it there, you're going to be in for a long, long night.
Dallas at 35% shooting, and they go inside with Jamison, and Shaq was there defending. And a foul, and this will be on Shaq for a 3rd time. So these teams, although Dallas made the Western Conference Finals a season ago, only 6 players from last year's team on this year's squad, and the Lakers only has 7 players from last year's team. So a lot of change in the part of both squads.
Well, I think that's what we talked about, that it might be 20, 25 games into the season before we really find out who these teams are. Kevin, I think you can say the same thing. San Antonio tonight ground out a win at home by 1. I think it's going to take them time. Sacramento, Minnesota. I mean, the top 5 teams all made major changes.
Lakers on top, and here's Jamison at the free throw line, and that will trickle in. The Dallas Mavericks got it to within 6 at 34-26, but the Lakers pushed it back up to 13.
Well, if you want to know why Dallas is trailing, they're shooting 2 of 11 from the three-point line, which is 18%. Last year they shot 38%, which is one of the best in the league. They were the #1 free throw shooting team in the league last year at 83%. They're now 8 of 14. So they're struggling at the line, at the three-point line, and that's why they're losing.
Lakers tonight from the striper, 6 of 9. Lakers have turned it over 4 times. The Mavericks 6. So clean in those terms as Peyton works on Nash. Great matchup. It's the lane. Picked up by Antoine Walker. Ahead it goes to Jamison. Nash, athletic catch, and Fisher there to meet him. Nice move by Nash. Oh, my goodness. And Steve Nash, who had that Olympic experience in San Juan this summer, arguing for the call. You're not going to find 2 more competitive guys than Nash and Fisher.
I know that. He is tough.
Look at that move. Look
Gets
at that
inside, he loses the ball, but watch what he does afterwards. Look at him throw himself in there. 3 guys. Grabs Karl Malone by the ankle and gets Horace Grant.
And now Antoine Walker is talking with Peyton. There is a lot of emotion. These 2 teams very easily could end up late in the playoffs facing each other. We told you before, Dallas has not won here in Los Angeles since 1990, 25 consecutive losses. Yet it was Dallas that had a very good season a year ago, and the Lakers that are trying to regain their form.
Michael Finley, 0 of 1 at tonight's game, played 11 minutes. Again, he has really been struggling. They need him.
Walker trying to work inside on Karl Malone.
Kevin, just to expound a little bit about the Lakers' record against Dallas, in the last 49 games they have played, the Lakers are 44-5.
Good run for Phil Jackson. I wonder what his role is going to be in this Kobe-Shaq dilemma.
More active. We talked to him before the game. He's going to have to be a little bit more active and get these guys together, talk to them. His style in the past has been sort of step back and let them work it out. This is a little bit deeper than that. He's going to have to be more active.
There's Michael Finley out of Chicago. Rebound by Devin George. Lakers are now even with the Mavericks in rebounding. The Dallas guards tonight continue to be a story with their ineffective play. A meager 2 of 13 shooting from the field as Malone shooting 51% from the field. Peyton for 3. And Gary Payton nails the 5th three-point shot for the Lakers. Dallas is at 6.
And 5 for 11 as opposed to 6 for 22.
Nash works around a screen. Tony Delk in the game. And Dirk Nowitzki has scored well at 19 points, and Delk a 3, partially deflected by George. Come the other way. Nowitzki and Nash back on defense. Peyton kicks it out to Fisher for 3. Rebound by Antoine Walker. Walker is at 5 3-point shots tonight. Good move by Delk. Here comes Gary Payton. Fisher open for 3 again. Rebound by Karl Malone on the offensive glass.
Oh, this crowd wanted to erupt so badly. Derek Fisher's got the biggest smile on his face. He's had 2 wide open threes that were spectacular plays.
What a pass. What a pass. Karl Malone inside with a great feed.
Boy, the Lakers are showing some tremendous passing tonight. Not turning the ball over, finding the open man, shooting the high percentage. This has got to make Phil Jackson very, very happy.
Gary Payton has 17 points, 9 in this third quarter. Nowitzki to Nash with 8. He'll stay there. Nowitzki with another rebound, 13 for the game for Dirk Nowitzki. Horace Grant defending with Shaq on the bench. Nowitzki through Payton by Grant. And almost tapped in by Antoine Walker.
tell you, the Lakers just keep pushing the ball and running it at Dallas. They appear to be the better conditioned team here tonight, Kevin. I've always felt like early season conditioning is vital, and the Lakers look to be in better shape right now than the Mavericks.
I remember Dallas began that season a year ago at 14-0. Nice shot by Fisher from outside, 16 points for Derek Fisher. And we asked Don Nelson, was it because you were in such great condition a season ago? So just everything was on the same page. Lakers have tied their biggest lead tonight. Nash with an easy feed to Jamison.
Well, Jamison's going to be able to score. There's no question about that. I mean, and I think you can see that he's going to be able to get his shots.
Dallas does have a foul to give. And Gary Payton.
They're just picking him apart right now, Kevin. I mean, Karl Malone is coming to that high post and just looking to pass the ball. Shaq's over there resting. Kobe's back in the weight room, and right now Karl Malone and Gary Payton are having fun. And here comes Kobe Bryant out on the floor. Let's see the fans and their reaction as he comes out onto the bench.
They give Bryant a standing ovation as he comes on the bench, and he sits right next to Shaquille O'Neal. Of all people, Kobe Bryant is sitting next to Shaq on the bench. Here comes Fisher for two. Lakers on quite a run. That will take us to the end of the third quarter.
This is important, Kevin. It's important for Kobe Bryant to be out of here with his team, not back in the back. Be out here and support what they're doing. Shows me a lot about his maturity to be out here tonight. Be with his team, encourage them, let him know he's there.
Gary Payton scores 11 in the third quarter. And the Los Angeles Lakers on top, equaling their biggest lead tonight, 86-67. For Shaq, sitting next to each other on the bench. After an emotional public feud, a meeting with Phil Jackson and the team today, a fine on Kobe Bryant, not playing because of the knee injury tonight. They expect him to play, and again on the bench in these parts, and have been known to play some defense over the years, as you can see by these numbers and where they've been selected, including Gary Payton.
Well, I think we think of all the points they've scored throughout their careers. I mean, Shaq over 20,000, Kobe over 10,000, Karl Malone over 36,000, Payton over 19,000. But look at the defensive credentials, and that's why I've said I feel like that this Laker team defensively.
Inside and picked off by Nahua. Payton is in, watching Best kick it outside. And Finley, no shot, foul. Russell with the foul. He's got his fourth. And this will put Finley at the free throw line for the Dallas Mavericks. And Michael Finley tonight, 29 minutes and 10 points. 4 rebounds and a perfect 6 of 6 from the free throw line.
He's a great free throw shooter.
He is. A career 80% free throw shooter and 86% a season ago. NBA Premier Week continues on TNT on Thursday. 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Watch Carmelo Anthony and the Nuggets take on the Rockets. And LeBron James and the Cavs will take on the Suns. TNT NBA Thursday. Let the truth be told.
I'm looking forward to that, Kevin. I've never seen LeBron James play in person.
Either have I.
So I'm looking forward to that night and get a chance to really see his game up close and personal.
Foul, Travis Best. Get it.
Gary Payton's going into post up, and I can tell you Travis Best takes this personally. You know, Derek Fisher, smaller guards in there, they're not going to let you run them in there in the post. They're going to try to punish you that time Best gets the foul, but they're not going to go away without a fight.
Karl Malone. Malone tonight has put in 15 points, grabbed 9 rebounds. And Karl Malone, 7 assists. Payton with the steal. Malone is ahead. Russell on the side. Into Shaquille O'Neal. What a pass by Karl Malone.
Karl Malone is really having some fun passing that basketball. Did you expect him to be the leading assist man tonight?
No.
He's going to get a triple-double here.
In his Laker debut.
He's got 10 rebounds. He's got 8 assists and 15 points. He's 2 assists away from his triple-double in his Lakers coming out party.
Dallas has been no closer than 7 points this entire second half.
Just turn the ball over. You want to see the Lakers debut. Look at these two guys. Both of them are flirting with triple doubles here. It might happen. We still have over 5 minutes to go here in the fourth period.
It's Karl Malone looking inside. Gary Payton, Karl Malone with 10 rebounds, 9 assists, and 15 points.
He and Gary Payton are tied for the league in lead in assists tonight, 9 apiece.
New player in Josh Howard, the ACC Player of the Year at Wake Forest. He is a rookie, and in now for the Mavericks. Here is Shaq working on Nahara. Payton swinging it to Fisher. Shaquille O'Neal. And picked up by Tony Delk. To Best. Inside, and those are the first 2 NBA points for young Josh Howard.
I really liked him in college. He was one of my favorite players. I cannot believe he slipped to where he did in the draft.
He did, 29th. Isn't that amazing?
Terrific at Wake Forest.
Also thought about 3, and Best is right there. Alone with Nahara. Great pass inside to Russell, and a foul.
A guy like Karl Malone, I just think the love of the game, playing the game. And I've had a chance to be around Michael Jordan, some of the greatest players to play, and they all have that burning passion, the desire, the love to play basketball and compete. And it's so good to see the smile on these guys' faces over there, especially Kobe Bryant. I'm sure he's going to be excited to get back into the mix after watching his team tonight.
He was working out here in the building when it was empty earlier today. As Howard finds Delk. Here comes Shaq. Off to Brian Russell. That's Luke Walton out of Arizona, the rookie. And they go into Shaq. 6 players in double figures for the Lakers as Sean Bradley, newly in the game for the first time, picks it up. Would you equate what the Mavericks are going through right now with this hesitancy and maybe just a second late to a quarterback in football going to a new system and that ball doesn't leave his hands? He has to think a little bit before he releases.
Yeah, especially if there are new schemes. And you've got guys on this team who have not been in the schemes of the Mavericks. Last year, they covered a lot of their weaknesses. You see Gary Payton now go out to a rousing ovation. Well, these guys have to be excited, he and Karl Malone, about the way they played tonight.
21 points, 7 rebounds, 9. Not bad.
But again, the defensive schemes that the Mavericks used, there's so many zones and the things they did last year, were to cover for their weaknesses, and they did a good job at it. Right now, they are not on the same page with those things, either offensively or defensively. And it's going to take them a little while. I don't think there's any rush to judgment here. They're going to be a terrific team. It might take them 12, 15 games before they start feeling it.
Couple rookies out there for Dallas. Marquise Daniels is on the floor. He's out of Auburn. Great defensive player. They go inside to Shaq. The shot clock is down to 6. Out of bounds it goes with 3:05 to play. Lakers are out for a couple days, and they'll go to Phoenix. So they've got some time between tonight and this weekend.
Yeah, they've got a good schedule here. Shaq is getting a nice ovation as he leaves. You know, Kevin, all eyes are going to be on Shaq and Kobe. Every move they make, how does Shaq respond to Kobe as he comes off the floor? What is the reaction with each other? I mean, you talk about a microscope. That thing is going to be red hot.
Well, so far, the signs are pretty pleasing. It looks like maybe things have been pushed aside as Josh Howard hits a 2-pointer.
You know, Don Nelson told us before the game, he said, if we had not made that trade, he said, I was thinking about starting Josh Howard. He said, but I need to go to our veteran players early to help us win games.
Luke Walton for 3.
It's his first NBA field goal, isn't it?
It
Steps
is.
back and shoots it.
Well, there was more drama leading up to this season opening game with Kobe and Shaq than there was in the game. And we've gotten a glimpse of what the Lakers may look like with the fantastic three, you can only wonder how good they will be with the fantastic four once Kobe is out there playing. Big story tonight, Karl Malone, 15 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. Karl Malone and Shaq are standing by with Cheryl Miller.
Phil Jackson before the game was wondering who would step up. No Kobe, a lot of distractions. 6 players scored in double figures. You were 1 assist away from a triple-double. You got to like what you saw tonight.
We like what we saw tonight. I tell you what, the thing about this team, I've been around a lot of guys, but from 1 through 12, everybody pulling for each other, and that's what we have to do. We have to pick each other up, and a night like tonight, it could have easily got away from, but guys stay focused. And one thing about this guy over here, he said, look, no matter what happens, when we step across this line, I'm going to roll with you till the wheels fall off. And like I said, it was a great win for us. Awesome win considering everything going on, but we mean business.
You know, with a win like this, does it start the healing process for this team? Can they move forward?
Oh, it's no doubt about it. We got professional athletes on this team that's pulling for each other, and it's a minor thing. So no matter what people are saying out there, we're a unit, we're a team, and that's what it's about. It's not what's on the back of the jersey, it's what's on the front of it.
All right, thanks a lot, Carl. And Shaq, at one point in the fourth quarter, you and Kobe were side by side seated. Have you guys been able to resolve the issues?
We don't really have issues. I think the problem is bums like Kenny Smith running their mouth where they really don't know what's going on. But he said something that was misconstrued. I said something that was misconstrued. We talked about it. And right now we're just going to play. We're just trying to win. I've been a team player, and I just want everybody, to do what's right. And that's all I said.
Any regrets that it became so public? Any regrets that it became so public?
Not at all, because we really didn't let it get public. Like I said, a couple guys, just trying to always get the extra story. We were, told not to say anything, but, Mr. Jim Gray trying to be Mr. Inquirer like he always does. He, got something that probably wasn't supposed to be repeated. And, he wanted to be a hero, and, he printed it, but nothing's going to break me. Nobody's going to break me. I'm going to be me. I'm going to do what I do. Right now we're 1-0, and we just want to, stay focused and continue, to win.